Yoshi can dodge projectiles and attacks with his taunt if timed properly. This is because Melee is actually a 3D fighter and has a Z-axis that often gets forgotten about. When Yoshi taunts, he actually leans forward enough that he completely dodges Samus's missiles when they would otherwise normally hit him here. If you go into the game's settings and switch the language from English to Japanese, you'll change the background of the trophy collection screen. A new picture with Japanese text replaces the English picture here, a virtual boy gets added by this flower pot, and the NES and SNES are swapped out for their Famicom counterparts. There's also a copy of Smash 64 here, which will display as the Japanese version when the language is switched. Wario was almost added to Melee and was likely the next character that would have been added if the developers had more time. We know this because of a fan Q&A that Sakurai did on a Japanese Melee website years ago. Wario was eventually added in Brawl, but Sakurai does directly state that Wario would have been in Melee if they had more time. On that note, Melee was developed in an extremely short amount of time. The developers only had 13 months to create this game as Nintendo wanted it to be an early launch title for the GameCube. Because of this rushed development, there's a lot of cut content, bugs, and jank in the game's files, which we'll get into during this video. When you reach certain games played milestones, the game will award you with a pop-up telling you of the milestone. For the lower numbers, the messages are pretty standard, but as you progress, the game tells you to take a break once you've played 50,000 matches, and after you play 100,000 matches, the game tells you to go outside. There's even a message for 1 million matches played where the game says, "Never thought you'd see this." A fun glitch for Sheik involves her needle charging. If Sheik charges her needles in the air and presses L or R 1 frame before landing, she'll become Wolverine and have her needles stick out of her hand. There's a trick you can do to glitch the stock icon for your character. For this glitch, you first want to select the character you intend to play with. Then deselect them and hover over one of Kirby, Captain Falcon, or Yoshi. Then press Y once, but don't properly select the character. Then press L, R, and start at the same time to go back to the main menu. Then go back to verses, and you should notice that the name listed for your character and the image for them do not match. Now simply start the game and you'll have a different stock icon than you're supposed to. This glitch is a bit finicky and won't work with certain characters and certain skins, so you might have to do some trial and error to get this to work properly for your character. The character select screen was originally supposed to play a voice line for your character when you select them. The only one that still plays in-game is for Captain Falcon. If you turn the music off and raise the volume a lot, you can hear him grunt when he is selected.
Captain Falcon! Captain Falcon! Captain Falcon!
All other characters have code for this too, but their voice lines are silent, with Falcon being the only one not silent for some reason. Kirby can do something pretty jank against the Ice Climbers. If Kirby gets a kill on the main Ice Climber and goes for an up throw on Nana as Popo is dying, then Kirby can continue his upwards momentum from the up throw and continue rising way up above the blast zone. It takes quite a while to fall back down to the stage, even if you do Kirby's down B. This likely counts as stalling and is not allowed, so don't bother trying this in tournament. Normally if your shield breaks, you're unable to move and completely vulnerable for quite a while before your character recovers and goes back to normal. If your shield breaks on Dreamland, you can use the wind from Wispy to cancel the slow, laggy animation caused by the shield break and become actionable again immediately. This is basically impossible to do intentionally in a match without purposely breaking your own shield, but does have some extreme style potential as shown by Squid the Cat.
Frick yes, oh my god.
Both Pichu and Jigglypuff have the ability to close their eyes and take a mid-game snooze. If these characters decide to do this on Fountain of Dreams, you can see that their eyes are not actually closed in the reflection of the water on the floor of the stage. Oddly enough, most other characters' eyes are closed in the reflection when they are put to sleep by Puff. Despite that, neither of these two Pokemon appear with closed eyes. One of the most interesting glitches in Melee is the name entry glitch. This glitch allows you to start games when you are not normally supposed to. Like for example, when one person doesn't have a character selected. If you have one player hit A on the back button right as another player hits A on name entry, you can go right to the stage select screen without picking a character for player 3. Once loaded in, the game will get a bit confused and send in Master Hand. Player 3 can actually control him too and use all his moves. Only port 3 can actually control Master Hand, but you can do this glitch with the other ports too, just you won't be able to control him. It's really neat actually using all his moves against your friends. He is extremely overpowered as you cannot actually kill him at all when he is loaded in like this unless you set the game to stamina mode so he gets HP like in single player. You can use this same glitch to load in 4 players all on the same team. The game normally only has 3 versions for each skin, these being the normal version, dimmer version, and brighter version. But with this glitch, you can see what happens if the game tries to load a missing 4th version. The 4th character will spawn in completely black with none of their normal color present. This happens because the game tried to load a non-existent texture for the skin and comes up with nothing, so you get no color on your character at all. Interestingly though, this is the same skin used for Dark Link in single player, so maybe it was intentional after all? Not too sure. There's an unused animation for the character select screen still within the game's files. You can use a gecko code by Uncle Punch to enable it, and it causes the icons for the 6 clone characters to slide out from behind the characters they are based off of. It is very possible that Meowth was going to be a playable character at some point in development. The file name for the Meowth trophy has an R suffix, which is only used for trophies for the playable characters. Melee is also the only game in the Smash Bros. Series to not have Meowth appear from Pokeballs, likely because they wouldn't have wanted him both as a playable character and a Pokeball Pokemon. On Battlefield, if Mario capes Sheik's get-up attack, she'll teleport across the stage to the other ledge. Not sure why this happens, but it's a fun little glitch that only works on this stage. Mario's cape is also unique as it is one of the few moves that has a wind box. Mario's cape will actually cause Peach's dress and hair to blow in the wind if the move is used close enough to her. You can see this against both Zelda and Link too. Ganon's up tilt also has a similar effect as well. Only a handful of moves actually do this, so it's interesting they even bothered adding this to Melee. And oddly enough, Game & Watch's jab doesn't have a wind box, despite it being an attack where you literally pump air at your opponent. The Great Bay stage has water that you can briefly swim in before falling to your death. While playing on this stage, the camera will only show you above the water, but the bottom of the ocean is actually fully textured and modeled, despite not being visible in regular gameplay. Both Fox and Falco have secret taunts you can access on the Venom and Corneria stages. If you're playing either character on these stages, then you can press down on the D-pad quickly to make this secret taunt play. Fox and Falco will crouch down and start charging up before the other Star Fox team members start talking to you.
Watch your radar carefully, Fox! Keep your eyes open! Come on, Fox! What are you doing?
Be quiet, you old fogey!
There are a handful of different conversations. I'll play a few of them here for you.
Fox! Be careful! I have a bad feeling about this!
What? Everything's fine. I'm here.
That's what worries me the most.
Hold A to charge up shots.
Cut your way through with a boot!
Aren't you guys thinking of something else?
Falco! Don't let them get you!
This has gotten interesting. I'm on the edge of my seat.
Calm down. This is where the real battle begins.
Kirby is easily one of the most broken characters in Melee. If you're in a match with both Kirby and Yoshi, there's something funny you can do after inhaling Yoshi and getting his neutral B as Kirby. If you use Yoshi's tongue attack as Kirby and then have Yoshi quickly break out of the egg, Yoshi will get a little bit smaller. Do this a few more times and Yoshi will become tiny. To get him back to normal size, simply swallow Yoshi again, but don't have him mash out of his egg super fast. Mashing too slow or not mashing at all will return him back to normal size. There's actually another fun janky thing you can do with Kirby and Yoshi. If you select both characters and go to a stage you can walk off the side of, you can break the game in a funny way. First have Kirby inhale Yoshi to get the Yoshi ability. Then have Yoshi walk to the edge of the blast zone and have Kirby use his Yoshi tongue attack. Normally this would cause Kirby to inhale Yoshi, but instead he just dies. You'll notice too that Kirby will look a bit funny after this as well. One other way to glitch out Kirby is by using Jigglypuff's rollout. First have Kirby inhale Jigglypuff, and then have both Kirby and Jigglypuff roll out into each other. You have to make sure Kirby starts off in the air, otherwise the glitch will not work. If you have them collide into each other repeatedly, you'll start to notice Kirby getting flatter and flatter. This is easiest to do on a flat stage like Final Destination, but this does work on any stage. Do this enough times and Kirby will be as thin as a piece of paper. This isn't just visual either. It completely messes up his hitboxes and almost completely breaks his throws since they no longer lead to his hitboxes like they should. Also, his grab and inhale look pretty funny when he's flat like this. There are a bunch of unused jingles left in the game's files. It's not clear what they would have been used for. It's possible their alternate jingles ended up getting replaced by the ones we do hear in game, but hard to say for certain. Let's take a quick listen. The punching bag in the home run contest is actually coded as a character within the game to allow it to be damaged and grabbed as part of the home run contest side mode. The punching bag even has an idle animation that is extremely hard to notice. If you look very closely, you can see the punching bag wiggling along the ground ever so slightly. Another somewhat unknown detail involving the home run contest is that the back side to the left actually has a wall you can bounce the punching bag off of. There's even a video of the developers actually using this wall as part of their combo on the sandbag. Within Melee's files, there's an unused Pokemon that never appears normally in a Pokeball. This unused Pokemon is Ditto. You can actually use the debug mode to spawn him in, but he isn't really programmed to do anything. He's actually referenced in the official guide for Melee, showing that he was very likely a last-minute cut. The guide mentions how Ditto would have copied the user's character and aided them in battle. This was likely cut due to issues actually creating this new clone character within the game. Oddly enough, Ditto actually appears within the game's tournament menu. If you select a winner out or loser out style tournament and then hold L and R and A when selecting a character, you can pick random as your character and Ditto will appear as the random character icon. One of the most infamous ban techniques in Melee is the freeze glitch. This is a glitch that the ice climbers can do to freeze their opponent in place, leaving them unable to move, attack, or defend themselves in any way. To do this, you have to get Nana to grab your opponent, and then as they are throwing them, use side B with the primary climber. If timed correctly, your opponent will freeze in place. The only way to unfreeze them is to grab them again. If you don't do that though, you can just leave them frozen there till the timer runs out. Most of the time when you see this glitch, it is being done intentionally, but it is possible for this glitch to occur accidentally if an opponent grabs Nana and throws them while the primary climber is using side B. The freeze glitch doesn't happen often as it is banned and will get you DQ'd, but it is amusing when it happens accidentally like this. If you press L or R before a fight starts, you'll get to listen to the alternate music for the stage you're fighting on. Not every stage has an alternate track, but all of the tournament legal stages do, except for Fountain of Dreams and Dreamland. So I guess not all of them, but a bunch of them do. Fox and Falco have unused victory voice lines specifically for fighting each other. The only remnants that have been found for these voice lines are the Japanese lines, as they were left in the Japanese version's sound test feature, despite not actually being in the regular game at all. Fox's translates to, "Don't worry about it, Falco."
気にするなよ、Falco.
And Falco's translates to, "Is that all you've got?"
お前の腕前ってのはその程度か?
Despite Game & Watch appearing 2D in-game, he actually has a fully 3D model. The game uses a flat code on him at all times, like the one used on the Flat Zone stage to make all the other characters appear flat too. A really funny glitch involving Game & Watch is the kamikaze glitch. This glitch requires both Game & Watch and Ness to happen. First, have Ness do 3 PK flash attacks and have Game & Watch use his bucket to collect them. Once the bucket is full, then use the bucket attack on an opponent's shield. If done correctly, Game & Watch will blast off towards the blast zone and do extreme damage to anyone in his way. The Boomerang super jump is one of my favorite glitches in Melee. This was patched in version 1.2, but on earlier versions, Link and Young Link can use their grappling hook and Boomerang to gain an insane amount of height. First, you have to throw your Boomerang upwards as you jump off stage. Then prepare your grappling hook and let Link dangle below the stage. As the Boomerang goes back to Link, press the B button. If timed correctly, Link should go flying way up above the stage. You can throw down bombs as you are falling and do some pretty crazy stuff. There is a fun secret in event match number 10. This event has you face off against a bunch of Mario characters, but Donkey Kong is the one we care about here. Right as you defeat Mario and are about to fight DK, start mashing the pause button. If you push pause right at the start of the fight, you can see DK T-posing. You can even see 2 T-posing Donkey Kongs if you yourself are also playing DK. Some of the characters added in Melee were decided by a fan vote. This vote took place on a Japanese Smash-themed website not too long after the first Super Smash Bros. Was released. Thankfully, these poll results have been preserved over 25 years later, and we can see that Bowser was the most popular option picked on the poll with 169 votes. Most of the other options picked did eventually make it into future Smash games. Some other interesting characters that got lots of votes are James Bond and Ash Ketchum, who both unfortunately never got added. Bowser is the most voted character amongst fans, but despite that, the developers did mess up a bit when creating him. Not only did they make him one of the worst characters in Smash history, but they also messed up his hand. If you grab a capsule with Bowser, then jump and air dodge, you can see Bowser's hand grow considerably larger than it should be for a few frames. I honestly have no idea why this happens. There's a similar glitch with Peach. First go onto Giant Melee and select Peach. Make sure you have mushrooms enabled so you can get even bigger. After picking up a mushroom to become an even bigger Peach, use your Neutral Beast special move. You'll notice the Toad is now considerably bigger than Peach, despite him normally being much smaller than her. For some reason his size doesn't scale properly here, and he gets much bigger than he should. In Melee, there are many different ways you can cancel your taunt animation. Probably the most well-known one is using Randall. If you taunt on Randall, as he's going back into the stage, then your taunt animation will be cancelled. Pikachu and Pichu have their own unique taunt cancel, as they can taunt and then roll midway through their taunt to end the animation. The Lynx can do something similar by throwing their boomerang right before they taunt. You may have known the previous ones, but a lesser known taunt cancel is for Dr. Mario, who can for some reason ledge cancel his taunts, unlike the other characters. If you run fast enough towards a ledge and taunt, you'll slide right off and end the taunt early. In Melee, you only get one D-pad button to taunt, unlike the more recent Smash games that give you each D-pad button as a unique taunt. Because of this, every character has only one taunt, except for Pichu and Captain Falcon. For most characters, regardless of which direction you face, your character will do the same taunt. This is not true for Falcon and Pichu. Pichu, when facing left, will jump up and down and shout Pichu. If you face right, then Pichu will roll on the ground instead. Captain Falcon's has less of a difference, but if you face right and then taunt, you will do the more standard show me your moves taunt while he faces the camera. If you face to the left, then you'll still say show me your moves, but instead faces away and does a slightly different hand gesture. On battlefields, if you use Pikachu's Thunder Jolt in a very specific spot, it will glitch out and get stuck on the ledge. The sound effect will sound much worse than normal, and the hitbox of the attack will actually linger on the ledge for a short time. An easy setup for this is on the fire transformation of Pokemon Stadium. You just simply go to the top of the tree, roll left, and you are good to go. Something you can do for some extra style points is the Invisible Shine. The Invisible Shine happens whenever you edge cancel your shine as the hexagon part of the animation starts. This happens on the 4th frame and can be done on the ledge or by falling through certain platforms. This is a frame perfect technique and doesn't actually help you win at all, but it does look pretty damn cool. In the earliest version of Melee, the Daisy trophy has a fun secret. If you go into the gallery and view the trophy up close, you can see that Daisy has a secret third eye hidden on the back of her head. This was removed in later releases of Melee to make Daisy slightly less scary. Despite this, Mario Broth Blog on Twitter found out that the eye texture for this trophy is actually placed across Daisy's entire head, with the developers making most of them invisible. It is quite the sight to see Daisy with all of the textures enabled. Back when Melee was still a new game, there were some promotional events hosted by Nintendo to promote the game and the GameCube. These events had special in-game trophies that attendees could get. These trophies are the Samus Unmasked Trophy and the Mario and Yoshi Trophy. Sadly though, the gamers who did get these trophies did have to make a bit of a sacrifice. Nintendo gave out these trophies by having people bring their memory cards to these events, where Nintendo would then download a new save file with the trophies unlocked onto the attendee's memory card. This would give the attendee the rare trophies, but it would however completely overwrite their existing game file. These events were only hosted in Japan, so very few people who have played Melee have ever actually gotten these trophies without cheats. Captain Olimar may not be a playable character in Melee quite yet, but he does have a unique trophy you can obtain. His trophy is unique because you can only get it by having a save file of the original Pikmin game on your memory card when you boot up Melee. This is the only trophy in the game that requires you to own another game. No other trophy functions like this. Because of that, it is likely one of the rarest trophies in Melee. Mario has a small dash attack hitbox that is impossible to actually get a hit with. It is this tiny one in the middle here. It never actually hits because it's surrounded by two other much larger hitboxes that will always hit first and take priority over this inner one. Even if it does somehow hit an opponent, they programmed it to do literally 0% damage for some reason. Fox and Falco have a unique trick they can do with their shine. It is actually possible to store a shine's reflective properties and place it in an area of the stage where your character is not actually located. This is called the shine mine. To do this, you have to jump out of a shine while a reflectable projectile is on the stage. Then to use the shine mine, use shine as you are falling through a platform. If done correctly, the reflective hitbox will be where you first shined in the air and not where your character is located currently. This doesn't work with shine's regular hitbox, but you can cause some projectile shenanigans by doing this. Certain characters in Melee like Link and Samus have a tether they can use to grab enemies or recover back to stage. If there are two of either of these characters in the game and they use their tether within 5 frames of each other, then the first tether will take on the properties of the second one. For example, if you have a really small and really big Link tether this way, you can see that the small Link's tether is much bigger than it normally would be. With Samus, you can do some crazy stuff doing this with her extender. On Kongo Jungle, it is actually possible to attack the claptrap fish as they are jumping from the waterfall. If timed correctly, you can actually hit the fish, keeping its very strong lingering hitbox active, which can still do damage to other opponents as it crosses the stage. On Pokemon Stadium, there are a few different ways you can clip through the stage during the transformations. On the fire transformation, there's a somewhat well-known clip that you can do by wave dashing at a precise angle into the tree like this. Most famously, this happened to Moki and lost him a close set against Cody Schwab, the current #1 in the world. Melee enthusiast H did a deep dive on this clip and discovered that Peach can consistently clip through the stage here and not only survive, but actually make it back to the stage and attack. This ultimately is extremely niche, but it is an interesting way to mix up your opponent. The Soulbreaker glitch is a glitch involving Mewtwo and usually a strong item like a red shell. If Mewtwo uses his confusion move to reflect a red shell repeatedly and then reflect both the shell and another player, the game will glitch out and cause the other player to get stuck to Mewtwo. Once they are stuck, they are not able to control their character at all. Most setups for this glitch involve items, making it not applicable for tournaments, but it is actually possible to have this glitch work with Peach, since she has the ability to pull a Stitch Face turnip, which is strong enough to allow the glitch to happen. The Frozen Turnip Glitch is an interesting glitch exclusive to version 1.0 of Melee. This glitch causes a turnip to float in the air with a lasting hitbox for the rest of the match. It can be grabbed and moved during the match and for some reason gets a bigger grabbable hitbox each time you grab it. You can perform this glitch by having Peach hold a turnip and attempt to up B. If an opponent hits you on the first frame of your up B, then the turnip will be frozen in place. This actually happened to Armada at SmashCon 2018. He later said that this was the first time he'd ever seen this happen in a tournament game. This glitch rarely ever happens, as 1.0 is not the standard tournament version of Melee, and the glitch does not work in any other versions. And that was 50 facts about Super Smash Bros. Melee, one of the best games on the GameCube. Comment down below what game you'd most like to see covered next, and you might even appear in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you to everyone who clicked the like button or left a comment. It helps out the channel a lot. And shout out to the channel members. Without you all, I would not be able to stream or create content regularly. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care.